Let's do this.
Nobody talk. Nobody say anything. Shh. What's going on, Dan in Demand and Joe Philly Picker? What's going on?
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Hello. Hey, you guys. So we've been doing pretty good on views, but what's up with our sub count? Like, have you guys noticed that?
It's stuck at 119.
Hell, is it broken? Did we break YouTube?
I don't know. Wait, what are we?
What are we? We're people that do a podcast. No, we're professional podcasters.
What's it called?
No, we're the Pocket Change Podcast. We're on YouTube and we're on what are the audio versions, Dan? What are the audio versions that we're on all over?
We're on Amazon. I was gonna say YouTube, Amazon, Samsung, iHeartRadio, which is our number one platform, and Spotify is where I listen. I listen on Spotify.
Same here.
So if you're listening or watching on YouTube, help us out. Help us see if we broke you. Like just for a test, hit that subscribe button on YouTube to see if we can actually get past 119 because it's been stuck there for 3 days now. And like we're getting people just might not like us. They must not like us because they're watching. They're not subscribing.
They might like some of us.
Yeah,
I know who they don't like. I know who they don't like. I'm an unlikable kind of guy.
That's not true, Jimmy.
Well, that's Sonia.
It's partially true.
Partial 90, like 90, 10, right?
More like 70-30.
70-30.
Wait, which one's worse?
Yeah,
70% unlikable for sure. 70% unlikable.
Oh no,
and I don't do math.
You said 90-10, I said 70-30. I was thinking ground beef. Like 90-10 is a better cut than 70-30, right?
Yeah, well, I guess I'm definitely not leaner.
So
it depends on what you're making. Like a burger, what do you want? 85-15, right?
80-20, right?
85. I don't know. Do they make an 85-15?
Yeah, I think they do.
I think they do.
This is supposed to be a professional reseller podcast.
We're talking about beef.
But now I want a burger, so I'll be back. I'll see you guys later. It's lunchtime, so I'm going to get me a hamburger.
Yeah, I can do a burger.
Dan, we were talking a little bit behind, and you said that Goodwill is having a big sale by you today?
Yeah, today I'm skipping right now. They're having a 40% off sale of all their items for Tuesday only. In my area, they do. It's called oh my gosh, what's it called? I think it's called like MGM something, some kind of. It's a
MGM grand sale.
I don't know if it's that. It's some kind of. It's some kind of club that the Goodwill in my area runs, and I pay $5 a year, and you get like a secret email sale that you get to do. And for the last it used to be 50% off, but now it's 40% off for like the last 2 years. So you get a hidden day where stuff's 40% off, and today's that day. It's called the email sale.
Now, is it like that kind of sale where it's all just the stuff that's been on the shelf for a while? All the stuff that's just coming out isn't on sale?
No, it's the whole store.
Oh, wow.
Oh, anything your entire order. Like when you walk in, since it's a secret sale, do you have to give like the head nod or
you have to have your card. You have to have your card, and you have to have your email address.
It's like a speakeasy where you have to know the password.
Yeah. I kind of like this. The Goodwill around here doesn't do
a speakeasy thrift store. Hey,
they also when you check out, you get Goodwill bucks back for all your orders.
There's Goodwill bucks.
Like at mine, yeah. So if you spend, I have no idea what the calculations are on it, but for every $10 you get so many dollars back.
Oh, okay. Sonia has that. Sonia has like a blue ticket. It's like a lunch ticket that when you went to lunch and they punch your ticket, and then when it's full, she gets money back. It's literally like a blue. It literally looks like back when we went to elementary school and you had the lunch ticket, and it was blue. At least mine was, and they would punch it every time you got lunch. We have one of those for Goodwill. Sonia has it.
Yeah, we used to have that in this Goodwill. It was a special hole puncher, so you just couldn't go and buy a hole puncher and then punch like it was like a special one that had like a design on it. But they don't do that card anymore. They don't do anything really. They did do a Black Friday sale, but it wasn't. I think it was only like 20% off or something. Your total order. So everything was on sale. It was like 20% off your total order.
That doesn't sound very good.
Yeah, I don't have a special club. Maybe I'll talk to somebody over at Goodwill.
I think the funnest thing I ever saw at Goodwill, and I didn't even realize. The only thing is they should probably advertise a little better. It was a town by here, and we were shopping, and I was looking at shoes, and I was looking inside a pair of shoe to see what the size was or whatever, and there was a golden ticket inside the shoe. Have you ever seen this?
No.
And I picked it up, and it said, "You found the golden ticket, and you get 10% off your purchase of $10 or more." And it's
Really?
like they hid these golden tickets throughout the thrift store. And so when I got to register, I was like, "Is this real?" Like, she's like, "Oh, you found a golden ticket." And I was like, "Yeah, I found a gold." So yeah, you get 10% off. I was like, "What?" And so
Wow.
that was kind of cool.
There is a guy that I know that if my Goodwill had it, I definitely sure would not be the one that finds it. There's a guy in the in the Goodwill I see every time I'm there. He goes through every single pocket, every single jean pocket, every single jacket pocket. I've never
Oh,
seen him buy anything, but
looking for money, huh?
he just go, yeah, that's it. He just go, and I'm talking every single. You can't move in there because the
Even
Goodwill
even the people that are shopping, he's going through their pockets too. Like
probably eventually. Just don't stand next to him.
He's
But
not.
I'm telling you, he's in there for hours sometimes, and all he does is check pockets. I've never seen him buy anything, so I don't know if he does find money in there. I don't know if he just takes the money or if he buys that item with the money in there. I don't know, but he literally checks every single pocket nonstop, and it's every jean pocket. I mean,
Did you ever find it? Oh, you said you don't know if he finds anything?
I don't know if I've never seen him find anything, but I know. I mean, he checks every cargo pocket. He's there for hours.
I would feel like he has to find something where that'd be a
You
huge
would
waste.
think. You would think. You know what I mean?
Have you
But
ever found
then
anything?
then I go back and I think about the only time that I found anything in a pair of jeans or anything was I bought at a yard sale, and it was a $5 bill.
No. Dan, have you ever found anything in a pocket?
Yeah, I found a Notre Dame ticket stub for
I don't think I've
inside of
been.
a Notre Dame. I found change at the bins,
How much? Like a lot of change, or
like quarters and nickels, dimes. I always
Oh,
keep
good.
it. I always pay for it though. I put it in my bin. I put it in my basket.
You pay the weight of the
Yeah, yeah.
of
More
the change.
way too much.
I don't know how much is a nickel. I don't think I have a nickel around. I don't know how much is a nickel weigh.
I have no idea. I'm sure you're making a little bit of money on the deal, but not a lot.
You don't think
I
so?
was at an estate sale and they had a jar full of coins, and I offered them $5 for it. They didn't think it was very funny when I did that. It was like
the beer taps or the tabs on top of the cans. There was at an estate sale I went to. This is probably a couple of years ago. They had a price on it based on the aluminum weight that was in the. It was an old pretzel jar, like a Utz pretzel. It wasn't even a plastic container. It was huge, but it was completely full with those beer or bottle tops from the cans. But the guy said they weigh them for the aluminum. I never knew that. I just thought people collected them and turned them into whatever. I don't know. But
I have no idea what you just said. I wasn't listening.
I wasn't either.
I heard aluminum can. I'm sorry, Joe.
The tops of them, the tops of the aluminum can, somebody was selling it at an estate sale.
The
Based on
Pop-Tops?
on the top of a can, those things that you can like break
The little
off
tab.
the tab.
Yeah, my school used to collect them.
Yeah,
Well,
right. That's the only reason why I remember people taking them off that. Well, this at an estate sale, they had a whole pretzel can that was full of them. I don't know, but it weighed so. I remember it. I forget the price, but it weighed like 5 pounds or something, and he based that on the aluminum weight. Like if you went to a scrap yard, that's how much he was selling that.
What's up? Because I can't judge how much they had because I have no idea what a pretzel can is.
Like if you go to Sam's Club or whatever, you buy like 5 pounds of like hard pretzels in a
tote, like a little tote.
in a container. Yeah.
Really?
Like a plastic
I
container.
I'm gonna have to look that up. I have no idea what that is. All right, that sounds like a lot of tops.
It was tons. It was probably I don't know. There was probably 1,000 in there. I don't know what it was.
Worth recycling.
I don't know.
Copper's worth a lot, but I don't know about aluminum.
Yeah.
You said your Goodwill didn't have a Black Friday sale, and I'm going to use that to segue to ask Dan about his Black Friday sale because he did one. You had a Black Friday sale, didn't you, Dan?
Yeah, on Whatnot. It was awful.
It was awful.
Yeah.
I stopped in for a second, but we were driving, so I didn't get to come and hang out for that long.
Oh, that's why you didn't even say hi to me?
I think I did for a second. Maybe I did. Oh, no, maybe I didn't. I don't know.
I felt like you were ignoring me.
I was. I'm totally. Just like you weren't listening to Joe just right now, I'm not listening to you right now. So this is like this.
Yeah.
It's like this ugly triangle.
Oh yeah, this should go well, guys. This should go real well.
Last week they did on Friday. They did Whatnot had zero fees if you ran a show. So I had the incredible idea that I'm going to run a show because I don't know what you get like 1,000. If you do 1,000 sales, you get free instant payout. I don't know if that's. I can't decide if I really care about that or not, but I feel like I do because some things take me about a month to get paid for because I feel like they have to. I think if I send something to someone, they have to actually accept it before they actually release my money, and it's very hard to keep track of.
Really?
Checking. I'm pretty. I'm not 100% sure, but it's my theory is that that's what happens. That when
I wonder if there has to be like a cutoff time where like Whatnot's like, okay, they've had it for 5 days. We're just gonna say they got it.
Because I get paid for stuff, and I'm like, man, I sold that a long time ago.
Man, well,
it's the same thing I went through on Facebook. Facebook used to do weird stuff like that.
Yeah,
too.
I want to take the opportunity now because I buy on Whatnot, and I am the worst at opening the packages when they come.
Boy.
So I want to apologize now to anybody that I bought from on Whatnot, and I didn't rate them or whatever I had to do because if they don't have 1,000 sales, they're probably
I don't know
still
if they get paid yet.
They
I don't know if they've been. I don't know. I'm
apologizing now. I'm apologizing.
I mean, I don't really sell much and make any money on there, so I'm very bad at keeping track. But I did this sale. I don't know if I need $1,000. I don't know if I need if I really care about that or not. But
so you're confirming it is a thing. You're just not sure if you want to keep pushing to get there type thing.
Well, I'm just not sure if I worry. Like most sites, Macari sucks because you have to wait to get paid. Poshmark, you have to wait to get paid. But I'm not desperate for that money. Not yet. But like eBay's nice because it feels like I get my monies. I get paid every I do weekly payout. But I feel like I'm fine. Like I'm not looking for that money today. But so I don't know if I want it or not. But anyway, I was like, oh, I'm gonna sell. Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say you're right because that would make it really hard to keep track of. Like, how do you keep track of that?
But if I'm instantly, I don't know. And then I sell it gives you like an itemized list. If you sell one thing you have to find it. And I mean, it's very hard, even on eBay. It's hard to when you're looking, it's like, very hard to see when you get paid, what you get paid. Then there's the fees, and then there's all these little things. And I don't spend enough time because it's Whatnot is I don't make any money. Every time I'm on Whatnot, I'm probably losing myself money. But I thought I would do this show. At first I was going to do 2 shows. And then I was like, I don't want to do 2 shows. I'm just going to do 1. And I spent a little over an hour on there. I showed 60 items. I did a video. I talked about it. So sorry if you're one of the 130 people that have seen it. But
I'm one of the 130 that have seen it.
I did a video, and I mean, I sold. I think I had a bid on a couple things. I didn't have amazing stuff either. Like, but I don't think it was bad stuff. But my problem is I decided to start everything at $1 because I was like, oh, people bid, and no one was bidding, and I only had a few people in the show, so they didn't have to bid.
How was your technique? Because a lot of people were speculating that there would be.
Oh, it's perfect. I wish it would have crashed on me because then I wouldn't have.
I was like, I'm gonna go just because I know it's gonna.
But I sold. I did an hour. I made $30. I gave away a plush that I had to pay the shipping, so that was $4. And then the thing that I didn't talk about in my video, so I only made $24, and it took me forever to package this stuff up. But I didn't count in how much I spent on this stuff. And the time I wasted to package it all up, I literally made no money. There's no way I made any money.
You're at $24 an hour if you spend an hour on there. But then when you pack, let's say that's another hour. So now you're down to $12.
Probably close to 2 hours to pack.
And then if you talk about what you spent on the items, you're literally talking less than $10 an hour probably.
And that's what it was like when I first started reselling.
Yeah.
I would spend 8 hours doing
not
shipping.
Sustainable, that's for sure. Not sustainable.
Yeah, so I don't know. It was very discouraging.
Well, look on the bright side. You didn't pay any fees on the. I mean,
Joe's just turning the knife right now.
no,
Look on the bright side.
I'm looking at the bright side of things where you didn't pay fees on it.
Yeah,
Could you imagine
I
doing
showed
that?
50 items and I only sold 30. Like I couldn't even sell what I was showing either. It was
Look at the bright side. If you do that in baseball, 50%, you're in the Hall of Fame,
You're a
right?
Hall of Famer, yeah,
God.
for sure.
So you're in Whatnot's Hall of Fame in my eyes, Dan. So
Whatnot. So you're an ambassador now. You're a Hall of Famer. You're a big deal,
I
Dan.
mean, you
No,
are.
I don't think so.
And
I don't think so. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do because it's one of those where it can't be that. It can't be impossible to sell stuff on there. It's I know it's me. It's definitely me. It's the stuff I'm showing. It's probably junk, and I like do not think it's junk. Maybe some of it, but not most of it. It's not.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I don't
not-
know if it's
yeah.
the right place. Like I have a Scooby Doo cake pan I've been trying to peddle off for $1 for 2 months now, and I keep showing it. And I'm like,
I'll give you $1 for it, Dan. I'll give you $1.
someone's definitely gonna want this cake pan. I saved it from the bins.
You saved it.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
a nice
that's a-
cake pan. I wish I needed a cake.
Maybe make a cake.
Ooh,
If I do make a cake, it's gonna be like a Coke cake, where you like
A Coke
Wait, what?
cake.
a Coke cake or a pop cake. You take
So
like
pop-
a box pop or a box of box cake and you mix it with a can of Coke and then that's all you need. It's only 2 things to make a cake. So if it's like a darker cake, you make like a Coca-Cola and then like Devil's Food cake, or if you want like a lemon cake, you mix it with a Sprite. You could use
Does
like
it turn
Sprite
out
Zero.
good?
Huh?
Is this something you've seen? Does it turn out good or?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. I've done it before
What?
because
Really?
I don't. Yeah, because I don't have everything to make cakes at the house all the time. You know what I'm saying?
So you just throw.
I don't have eggs, but I got a soda pop.
Yep, that's how it is. I usually have eggs now, but you know,
Like I don't have eggs, but I got this Sprite
still-
right.
I mean, this is from my younger days.
That's
younger days.
interesting. Does it turn out better? It's like
I
moist.
mean, I don't think it's better, but it gets the job done.
How do you know about that hack and you haven't like taken to TikTok with it or something?
Because
Like,
I learned it from because I learned it before TikTok. I learned it from Pinterest.
That's literally like, you know, those videos where they go, like they say, like the guy will be like, I didn't know that, and then he'll try doing it to see if it actually works. He'll be like, you mean for 40 years I've been making my what?
So you can't, if you're listening, you can't see this.
But there's like a whole page that shows you what cake to use, what
What soda for? Like it's like fine wine. You're matching
like-
it up.
Yeah,
It's like no, Joe, it's nothing like that actually.
Oh, it's even right. Yeah, lemon. Well, I guess Sprite.
What did the root beer go with?
That is, you could do it with a chocolate Hershey chocolate cake, and I think that is a cream soda up there.
That's wild. Like,
how about the grape soda? What
I'm
did that
gonna-
go with?
You guys have homework now. You guys have homework. We all have to bake a soda cake this week.
I am. This has my attention.
I think the grape looks like
Comments
vanilla.
below. Did anybody in the comments? Have you ever tried making a soda cake like Dan apparently has been making most of his life, and we didn't know about it until
That's
just
how
now?
I've made it. That's how I've made it because I don't have stuff.
I'm glad I paid attention to
Oil.
Dan and was
Like I don't have
listening.
oil all the time.
I usually ignore Dan,
I know.
but I was listening this time.
I've learned gems.
That's a life hack. That's a little life gem. I'm gonna ask now. I'm not gonna do it because I have a rule. I don't bake. Because it's bad. It's bad. Because I've tried baking and it's gone bad. I'm actually a decent cook. I'm a pretty good cook, but when it comes to baking and having to measure precisely and stuff, forget about it. Just
what do you cook? What's the best thing you cook?
The best thing I probably cook is I can make a really good authentic like spaghetti and meatball dinner.
You make spaghetti like sauce? I call it sauce or you call it gravy?
I call it sauce, but that's
okay. You're not Italian, are you?
No.
Okay.
Right. But my dad made a really good. He taught me how to make his spaghetti sauce. It's not like from a jar or anything. And then I make up the meatballs and all that, and it turns out pretty good. But I can make like a good chicken adobo. Have you ever had chicken adobo?
I've never even heard of chicken adobo.
Oh, that's phenomenal. It's a Filipino dish.
Never heard of it.
Stuff. If you've never had it, you should try it.
I heard of it. I heard of adobo seasoning.
Is that what it is?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I've heard of adobo.
Yeah,
seasoning.
it's like, and it's an oyster. You put the oyster sauce in there, and then it's a very vinegar strong dish. It has a lot of very vinegar flavor. But being a good cook doesn't always mean you have a lot of really. It's just like knowing when you put something in a pan what to do with it, right? Like there's a lot of people that just don't even know when they put it in there. They don't even know what to do with it. Like they're like, I don't even know how to season this or cook it. Or Sonia, the first time Sonia tried to fry an egg, she didn't put anything like oil or butter in the bottom. She just threw the egg in there, and next thing you know, that's a true story. I had to teach her how to make an egg.
I just made some eggs today. I had Spam, rice, and eggs for breakfast this morning.
Spam, rice, and eggs.
What? And that's a breakfast, huh?
Oh yeah.
You fry the Spam up then?
Air fry it.
Ooh.
400 degrees for 11 minutes, and it's
11
perfect.
minutes.
It's perfect. The bright crispiness.
Did you say how did you say 11, Joe?
11 minutes. Oh.
11.
Oh, I thought you said 11.
11.
Ask him to say water. Joe, say water.
Water.
What?
Water.
Hey.
Water.
Hey, where's the water come from? Say creek.
Crick.
We could I need more of these. These are fun. Do you say wash with an R?
Wash.
Okay, he says
no.
wash.
He tried to say that. He says
Sonia
wash.
says wash.
He says whoosh.
And then like we have some things that are on Washington Street, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. There's no R, but a lot of people say it, so I can't. But for me, it's fun for me when she goes, it's on Washington. I'm like, where? And I'm like, Washington. She really concentrates on that. I watched some of the Whatnot on Friday, and there was some technical difficulties later in the day. But I want to talk about something this is public information. If you guys don't mind, because I think this is a good topic. I want to ask you guys' thoughts on this, because I've now seen like 3 on YouTube, between YouTube, Whatnot. I'm not sorry. Yeah, between eBay, YouTube via eBay, and then Whatnot. And then even on the news, like this stuff that's happening with some sellers is kind of crazy. So I want to start off by saying on Whatnot, I'm not going to say any names, but it is public information that happened on Whatnot.
But
Whatnot seller.
It would be such a better episode if you start saying names, though.
It would. If you want me to, I will. But
oh, geez,
no, I'm not saying names. On Whatnot, a seller accidentally started something. Let's use generic numbers at $3 bid when they meant to start it at $10 bid. And the bid started at $3. They only got 2 bids, and let's say it went to $5, and it sold for $5. And they admitted their mistake, realized their mistake right there live, and they canceled the order. And they told the buyer, "We're canceling the order, and we're gonna run it again." And I was like, "Whoa!" Like that's. I understand from the reseller point of view, but I also understand from the customer service point of view. Like, you made the mistake. You got so like that was a first example.
What were those numbers right? Or did you say
no? So if you want the actual, they don't have to be generic. It started at 8, and they meant to start it at 20.
And it got to like 10.
They only got to like $10 on it, and they said right there, "I'm canceling the order. Sorry for my mistake. It was my mistake. I apologize." They apologized up and down, but they did cancel the order and then tried to rerun it. So that's example number 1 of like a buyer missing out. Sorry.
Did it sell?
It did sell for
the second time.
$10.
The second time?
No, I did not. It did not sell the second time. So that's example 1. And then an eBay example, a YouTuber put out a video where they sold something and they must have mismeasured the item and misweighed the item, and their shipping cost was going to be like $100 something when they only got $50 flat rate shipping. and they canceled that order too. They did not ship that order too. And so now that's another example of a customer missing. Now, I will say they said they canceled it, and they said that the item, like, they took the blame and they took the hit from eBay. Like, eBay gave them a ding, but they did cancel it for that reason, because the shipping was going to be too much. A mistake, again, a mistake on their end. And then on the news, Kohl's, the company Kohl's, was that store KHOLS or whatever, Kohl's, we know Kohl's. They did. Then this is a big topic. So, like, canceling orders is my point. Like, they accidentally ran an ad or a sale on a PS5 bundle for $80.
Oh wow!
And a lot of people bought it. And these people were smart enough to, like, they took a screenshot of their order, right? Because they knew, like, they almost felt like this is too good to be true, but I want to make sure I cover myself. They screenshotted their orders. A lot of people did. The next day, they get a message from Kohl's in an email. Sorry, we're out of stock. Your order's been canceled. But then the same bundle is back available in quantity for $500, because the mistake was it was supposed to be $500, not $80. So Kohl's canceled a bunch of people's orders too. Like, these customers that, paid and thought it was a legit. What, like, is this wrong? Like, is this just completely wrong? What do you guys think? Like, and this is holiday season. These are presents and stuff that people are losing out on, and they thought they got a great deal. Man, like, I think this is a big topic, and I don't know because we understand both sides, right? Like, what do you guys think?
The one on eBay, I just did that myself last week, where I sold something, and I mean, I screw up shipping all the time, or I used to. I'm a lot better now because I just do the clothing. But I sold the pair of jeans, and it went international, and I put in 3 ounces instead of 3 pounds, and I only charged 16, and it cost me 37, and I just paid it because it's $20. So like, for 100, like, if it's $100, what the heck were they shipping?
So it was a blow mold, and I talked about what I do. I measure it, weigh it, put it into pirate ship, and I get a price. Yeah, but man, like, it can literally 1 inch can change the price dramatically on UPS ground. It can go up $50 just by adding 1 inch to one dimension. So that must be what happened, because weight usually doesn't affect it that much. But that's one that's huge, Dan, because like you said, on the eBay one, they were going to lose money on the deal, basically. Like, the shipping was going to cost them $130-something, and they weren't even going to make money on the deal. Like,
man, it sucks. I know, me personally, I would have just done it. I would have done it. If it was like an inch or something, I would have sat there and played with the dimensions of it, and then maybe took my, which is probably not the world's greatest thing, but at the end of the day, I would have just eaten it. Like, I don't know.
I've done it with sending out an offer before, and I ended up just taking the hit on it. I think it was something like, I don't know, $60 item, and I wanted to put it in for 55, like, send out an offer for $54.99 or something like that, and I put $4.99 in it, and I sent the offer. I didn't catch it until it was bought.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I sold a $60 item for $5 when I ended up just taking the hit and just sending it out. I guess I could have canceled it and said it was, it's unavailable or whatever, but I think you got to take the hit on that. But there's different levels of it. Like, if you're talking about one item on whatnot, and you're getting, what did you say? It was $20 and they sold it for 10.
They meant to start the auction out at 20, and they started it off at 8.
And it got 10.
And it got 10. I'm thinking you take the hit on that. On that.
And then rerunning it right in front of the person that won it. Like, you reran it right then and there. Oh, man, I don't want to be too hard, because I know the person, if they watch, and there's possibility they watch this, but it's a tough one, man. That was a tough one to watch. It was hard. Sonia and I were both watching. We kind of jaw dropped. We were like, what?
Like, because you remember you had that item that you didn't want to run.
Yeah.
There was, and like, I felt that, like, that was the right decision. You didn't run it, but if you had run it, we talked about it. that if you had run it and it sold for that, you would just like eat it. If you get $10 and you wanted 20, like I would just take the hit, because like you've definitely probably lost someone that's not going to come to your show. And there's probably people in that show that watch that or like, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to buy from this person, which
I want to say in the moment, there might have been like, let's say, I think it was like 26 people were in there and it dropped to like 19 right after that happened.
I think, I don't know. I think I would have just taken the hit on that. Like, at that amount of money, you know what I mean? It's a small amount of money to, I mean, I've done that more with like screwing up something on eBay, you know, not wanting the negative feedback, and it cost me $20 because, you know what I mean? Just keep the item and I'm going to send you whatever I screwed up. You know what I mean? Like, I've done that in the past.
What's our limit? That's a great,
I do have a question. Like, when they did that, so they didn't preload, did they not preload it in their items, or there's something, what did the person, you know, maybe if possibly the person was like, they showed him the jacket or whatever it was. I don't remember if you said what it was. They showed him like, hey, I would run this. Did he say of running it for 20? I mean, I'm saying he,
I'll say what happened was, the mistake was there were two people running it, and the person behind the scenes that you couldn't see was starting the auctions, and they made the mistake.
I mean, I still think you got to honor it, no matter who made the mistake, who did what. You're talking $10. And you know, saving face with, you know, your reputation or your, you know what I mean?
Someone else would have seen you do it, and they might have just tipped you $10 too.
Right.
Like, because they're like, man, that was nice of you. Or they might have tipped you $5.
I'm not that nice of a guy.
No, but like,
I know what you mean.
I don't know. It's just like.
Were you going to say karma?
Like, it's good karma if you had.
Okay.
Not Karma Chameleon right now. Is that what we're doing?
It's not my place to tell them they did something wrong or not. But I don't see the benefit of canceling it and then rerunning it. There's no benefit to it.
You have the voice of an angel. Will you sing Karma Chameleon for us real quick? I heard you singing in your last video.
Is that what the song was?
No, you sang like the song from the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
No, but I want to ask, like, I want to ask both of you guys, is there a dollar amount like where you're like, okay, because when we talk about the eBay one and even the Kohl's one, they standed to lose who knows how many hundreds of, you know, how many units sold. They probably could have lost some millions.
I mean, but I think like the using Kohl's as an example and using a one-man show on eBay or on whatnot as an example.
Huge
does
difference.
Really care that how many people did they really piss off? You know what I mean?
They're like rules. Isn't there rules that Kohl's has to follow? Like, I'm sure these people.
I'm sure they have some fine print though. It says if they're, because a lot of places, if you have an ad, the fine print will say any mistake is they can back out of the deal. So I'm sure they cover themselves that way. I will say though, my mom a few years ago, she brags about this all the time. Is that she was going, her and my stepdad are taking a trip, and they ended up deciding to go to Boston for a trip. And my mom was like searching for a hotel room, and she came across this deal on one of those sites that you get deal. I don't know if those are still around. They still do like Travelocity, something like that. It was one of those sites.
It's a tough business these days. Yeah.
And they were staying 3 or 4 nights, and the hotel, she found a deal. It was $35 a night, and this place was like a really nice place. Like, if happy hours, hors d'oeuvres,
breakfast in the morning,
like full service breakfast. It was like a fancy place. $35 a night. My mom couldn't sign up fast enough. Find out it was supposed to be $350 a night, but they only charged her $35. They forgot to add the zero.
Yeah.
And they honored it.
About that. I would brag about that for years.
She was just talking about it. She was just talking about it last week. They paid $100 and some, had breakfast every morning, had happy hour.
Were you on that trip, or did you?
Oh, no. It was just, and then it was all, my stepdad used his freaking flyer points to get there. You know, they just had a free trip for like $100. It was amazing.
We call that a bonus. That's a life bonus.
They stood up. I don't know the company. They did it. I couldn't believe it.
Sometimes, but there's like Instagram, like accounts that are just strictly on that. They go around and find these mispriced Amazon deals and all that stuff, and Home Depot
What
you
are
know,
you following those people?
but it's always too late. Like, you know what I mean? Like by the time
You
that
got to get
they
in a
put it
Discord.
out, they
Kind of
yeah,
like BrickSeek,
kind of like something like that. But it's probably like a Discord where you pay so
Oh yeah,
many
Discord
so many
too.
dollars a month to get the inside information that Cole's messed up on this and Cole. But I can see like, I mean, how many PlayStation? I mean, you can't take that hit no matter how big the company is. I think
Yeah.
you got to
Because, like you
cancel it.
said, I didn't think about that. Like Discords exist. I'm sure that was wildfire
Yeah.
on Discord, spreading the wildfire. Hey, go to Kohl's right now. They have this. It was like a PlayStation 5 with Madden and two controller or an extra controller for And I saw that on the news. Like I was like, what? And it was
I
literally
would have bought
after.
3. I would have bought at least 3.
Yeah,
I'm
right?
sure people. The only thing I did take advantage of one time, and it was mispriced lawn bags at Lowe's. I think they were like $5 for a pack, and they were
How many did you buy?
labeled
How many did you buy?
$1. I think I bought like 10 packs, but that's my only
still
come up on lawn bags.
Well, as
like
many leaves as you have, you probably needed them.
Yeah.
So
You mean the
we'll give
lawn
you
bags? Like you pour the bags in the leaves?
Yeah, the
Like
brown
the paper
big,
bag?
the bring back.
You're
Yeah,
bragging about that?
that's all I got. That's the only price thing that I've
one time
taken.
I bought a wheelbarrow, and they didn't. I put all the stuff I was buying in it, and they didn't scan the wheelbarrow. I didn't even realize till I got home that they didn't scan the wheelbarrow.
So you stole the wheelbarrow.
I did. That was over 20 years ago. Give me a break. I was young.
You're
I probably
forgiven.
needed the money at the time.
I'm a big karma guy. If that was me,
What did
and
you
it was
buy it
right
from
now,
Sears?
I'm going back to. I'm going back to
Home
Lowe's.
Depot. I remember it being a Home
Oh,
Depot.
you might have said Home Depot.
I
I
don't
wasn't listening.
So, but real quick though, so the eBay deal because we were talking about, that's the one that's the big question. Like for us, that probably relates to where we might consider canceling the order too. Like, is there a number? Would you, if we're talking about over $100 mistake, right? Like we're talking shipping. They got $50 that they flat rate shipping is what they charge the customer, and the shipping label was going to cost them $138. So that's almost a full, that's $90 difference, right? Like that's a $90 mistake basically. Is that a number? Now, are they actually losing money? Probably not. They're cutting $90 of their profit gone out the door. And then they're almost making zero profit, very, very little profit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what
is there a number? Is there a cutoff for us? Like that one would be a tough one for me. That to eat that loss, I'd probably still do it, but man, I would be kicking myself for a long
do you just cancel it, or do you reach out to the buyer and tell them, hey, listen, I screwed up. This is what the deal is. I
would probably, if I was going to cancel, I would reach out and say it was my mistake, but I do have to cancel. And I would have screenshot like, here's what I'm dealing with. Unfortunately, there is no shipping option to you for that price. And the thing is, like, I know it was literally, it wasn't even far. Like they told the States, it wasn't even a far distance. It would be like from me shipping from Ohio to Tennessee. Like it wasn't even far.
Yeah, I don't know. I got saved one time where I sold something. I believe it was like one of those fire ladders, the ladders that you could put on like the bedroom windows and climb. It was new in the box. And of course, I didn't check it. I ended up selling it to like Guam or something. And my intentions were I could charge $20 to ship it. It was going to fit in a flat rate box. And it didn't fit in a flat rate box when I sold it. And I think it was something like $45 or $50. And I reached out to the buyer and I told him, look, I'm having this shipping issue. Do you mind if I take it out of the box? Because it was new in the box. He'd take it out of the box and put it in a different box to make the shipping, cheaper. And they were okay with it. And that's the only thing that saved me was opening the package, repackage it in a flat rate box, and then sending it to.
I would ask Dan the same question, but we already know he'll do a whole hour show on Whatnot for $30 and still ship the stuff.
I would do it. Wouldn't matter. I hear this all the time now from there's so many different places to sell, but I make I make my money from eBay, and that's how I would do whatever. I would just pay whatever. And part of the mentality is that I'll make that money back. I'll make it back. It's just
because you're only talking you're talking $50, right? They charged 50 and it cost them 100, right?
It was 138 is what it would cost.
So $88 or whatever it is. I'm saying
one more spin on it, because this is because for our listeners, this is another spin I want to put on it, because this would be a huge factor as well, because we've all been there. There was a time when I couldn't have took that hit. Like that hit would have, like, my bank account would have been like, no, like we can't do this. So be careful, folks, is a big part of it too. Like, because that you would probably have to cancel it then. But man, like, so if you're listening, be careful. Make sure you're doing. I've always said, before you sell something big, a bigger item, make sure you have the box for it, have it measured out, and have a good idea of what it's going to cost you to ship it before you do it. Because there are people where they couldn't take that hit. They're literally like, they early on in their business or whatever, they can't take that hit.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. I think right now where I'm at in my situation or whatever, I think I just would have taken the hit. Pretty much on the Whatnot, take the hit. On the eBay story, take the hit. On the Kohl's story, I can't relate because of how big of a business they are, but I could see them canceling it too, because it could be, 1,000 orders. You know what I mean? Or, I don't know what they, and they don't care. I mean, people are still going to go to Kohl's whether you do it or not. Some people might not come back to your eBay store or your Whatnot store or your Whatnot shows if you do that. Kohl's isn't worrying about, those 1,000 people that they might have, screwed over to. They're still coming back to Kohl's.
Yeah, there's still plenty of people coming back to something. Yeah, I thought that was an interesting. I just couldn't even believe, like, Sonia and I were both like, this is 3 in a day and a half where we saw something like this happen. Like, you almost have to talk about it. She's like, you almost have to talk about it on the podcast because it's like a sign. Like, these are 3 and she witnessed them all too. She was like, what's happening? Like, this is the 3rd time we've seen a story or something like this happen in like a day and a half. So,
well, I feel like I mean, not that I made a mistake or whatever, but I was talking to my wife Lauren about it. Is for the last couple of weeks, I usually promote all the time, different promotions on eBay, different percentages all throughout the week, and change them 2 or 3 times a week. All this stuff. The last few weeks, I stopped doing it, and I saw my sales decline from it, which I expected, but in my head, I thought it made sense to do it and then do a 20% off Black Friday sale through Cyber Monday, because I didn't want to be, I knew that, like if you looked at an item when it's on promotion and then you buy it a week later, it still sells at a promoted rate.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Dan earlier in the week, and I was telling him that I sold some items that hadn't been promoted for like 2 weeks that sold with my 20% off and my promoted listing. So I got like double hit on it, even though I wasn't running a promotion at the time that it sold.
Dan, did you run any sales for the holiday? Did you run any sales? I just did my regular thing. I just promote at 5%. I have not ran a sale in forever. I used to run a sale all the time, but then I just focused on my promoting.
Why did you stop running a sale?
Because I promote. And then with my I thrift is how thrifting in the bins is how I get most of my inventory. So it basically would be like me selling on Whatnot, where I just basically don't make any money off of things because I'm promoting, and so I just kind of stopped. I have everything priced and I send out offers, and most stuff I had to take offers on.
Do you have offers open on your listings?
On most things, not everything, but most things. And if I go back and forth if I should do that or not, but I want to move things, but once I start doing a sale, I might end up at the end of the year, do a sale. Or last year I did a coupon. I sent coupons.
I've tried. Yeah,
and I'll usually send coupons to people that are have bought something from me this past year. I'll send them like a certain coupon and try to get repeat buyers that way. But
you're one of those coupon people too, huh?
Well, I only do it very, very rarely because most of my stuff is a pretty good. Like, I'm not an extreme couponer, but most of my stuff I feel is pretty priced pretty good, like competitively. It's fine.
I was talking about how you say it, not that you do it.
Oh, coupon.
You say Q or coup?
Oh, well, I don't know now. Coupon.
I say coupon.
Coupon.
Joe, he says he adds an R somewhere in there. I know
Coupon.
Coupon.
Joe, when was the last?
Most people I know say coupon.
What's that?
When was the last time you did a sale? Because we used to talk about that all the time with sales.
I haven't ran a sale in a long time, but I just figured. I think probably the last one I ran was probably last Black Friday. Was a sale that I ran.
Really, I'm running a sale all the time.
But I promote all the time. I promote all the time, and I just figured in the back of my head was 2 weeks is enough time. Like if you looked at an item 2 weeks ago, you know what I mean, and you didn't buy it yet, you're probably not going to buy it. But like the first 3 or 4 items that I sold were items that I sold on promotion and the sale, which was it shocked me. Like, so I don't know how long it lasts. Like how long if you click on the item during a promotion.
I think it's 30 days.
Is it 30 days?
It's on promoted, I believe. I know. I'm pretty sure that's what it was on like Amazon. I think it's the same.
That's
thing.
Crazy to me. Like you know what I mean.
That's why
you take a hit sometimes. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean. If you're running, a 25% sale and you promote it 5%, like last week or something like that, or 7%, you're talking 30% off is what you're at the end of the day.
And then here's what I'm dealing with. I dealt with this customer like. I'm running a percentage off, plus I'm running promoted. And so like some of my older inventory, I was running a 30% off on like my really old inventory, stuff that I've just had for way too long. And I just want to get rid of it. But I had someone, they sent it. So I had it, let's say, I almost remember the numbers exactly. I had it listed for 30. Well, it was listed for 30. I took 30% off of it. And then they sent me a $10 offer on it. And I'm like, it's already on 30% off. Like, I'm not taking it. I don't even know what's 30% off of 30.
$9.
Okay, so it was at $21. And so they sent me a $10 offer, and I just declined the offer. Like, I'm not even going to counter. Like, it's already on 30% off. I don't need to counter. And then they sent another offer at like 12, and I just automatically declined it. And then I get a message, if you have offers open, you should at least counter. And so I messaged them, well, it's already on a 30% discount. I'm not really taking offers on that item right now. Well, you have offers open. And so, I agree with them, but at the same time, I'm not going through all my listings and closing offers just because I'm running a sale. So it's like the tools are there on eBay, but they're not that seller friendly to where you can be like, oh, well, I'm going to turn off offers on all my 30% off sale items right now. I guess you could do it. I just didn't take the time or the effort to do it. And so this person's like, I'm like, it's already on 30% off. Like it's already, like you're trying to get it for like 90% off now or something.
You could tell them that you'll counter if you get an offer.
Like,
yeah. I'll take the sale off and then I'll send you an offer.
Or no, just clearly by your, clearly by that price, it doesn't really. Yeah. You're not a serious buyer with that offer type thing.
But it was, it was kind of like, tell me how, like I should at least counter. And I was like, well, you were way off. And what were you going to ask, Danisar?
Oh, I was just going to say that it was, if they're sending a $10 offer, that's not a real offer. That's not a real offer. I've had that on Poshmark where someone that I just straight up decline it too. Like any offer I get on Poshmark, it's always $10. It doesn't matter how much I'm asking, they're offering $10 and I just decline it. And then you can't it's hard to send a direct message to people. I'm not sure if they have to buy it for them to actually send you a direct message or so then they comment on the item like, oh, not even LOL, not even a reply, not even a counter. Yeah, because I'm asking $50 and you're offering me $10. What am I?
Yep.
I usually, like when you do get those offers, do you usually decline those offers or do you? I always send an offer back, even if it's the asking price of what it is. You know what I mean? Or whatever they allow you to send back.
I'm like, damn.
It depends on my mood. Like if I've had sales where someone will send me some stupid offer for $5 on something, and I'm like, I'll send them an offer back, and I'll be like, oh, did you want $5 off? And then people bought stuff. Or,
Did you mean $5 off? Yeah.
if they send me it's just if I'm in like just don't want to deal with people, I will just decline it. If I'm like desperate for a sale, I really would like to counter all the time, but if I'm just in like I ain't messing with this today, I'll just decline it, or I'm like you're crazy. Like I'm not taking that. And then if they send
Same way.
they send you $10, and then when you just straight up decline it, and then they instantly send you back an offer for 12, like, oh, you know what? 12. That's I didn't want 10, but I'll take 12.
I'm the exact same way. But like if it's a ridiculously low offer, I just decline. I don't even mess with that. I just decline. But if it's in the ballpark, then I always counter. And man, I've actually get quite a few sales that way. I agree with Joe. Like if it's in the ballpark and I counter, I get quite a few sales where you could tell they just want to negotiate. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as they don't start off, like you said, at 10 on a $50 item. Yeah. Like if I listen for 50 and they come in at 35, I'm like, okay, well, I'll counter at 45, and then maybe they'll counter at 40 or whatever. Like at that point, you've entered negotiation, which is fair.
What would you do if someone was offering you, if you have something listed for whatever 50, like I'm going to give you a ridiculous lowball offer, and then you counter, they're messaging you this. I'm going to send you a lowball offer, you counter, and then we'll meet someplace in the middle. That's what they wanted to do with me.
Yeah.
Did you block them?
In the middle. My price is 50. Yeah.
I don't think I blocked them. I just ignored them. And then it sold for full price. And I was like, boom.
I always feel good about that. Like if I get an offer and I send it back and they send me like an offer and I'm sitting on it and then it sells for full price, I'm like, that was a good day.
The other thing I like to do is if they send me an offer, I counter, they ignore me, it expires, and then a day later they send me the same offer or $1 or $2 more. I ignore them.
Ooh.
And then you're like, boom again. Right?
Yep, boom.
Do you send them a message #boom or just
no?
Boom
I
in your
try.
head?
I try not to engage with people that way,
Okay.
but sometimes I feel it makes me feel better, like to just be able to. You're gonna ignore if you want to buy it. If I'm not gonna play game, I'm not playing games.
You took the W on that one. That's what you're saying. You took the W.
I mean, I sound like a total jerk because you should probably doesn't sound very good. But if I'm countering and then you want to ignore me, and then you just literally sometimes you send me an offer for less. So then I don't know.
Yeah, that's a jerk. I know exactly.
There are some times where I get myself wrapped up in it. Like I'll send out, or somebody will send me an offer. I'll counter them, and I guess depending on whatever mood or whatever, if it's like a $50 item, they send me 35. I'll be like 40 is my lowest, and then they'll send me 37.50 back. Decline right at that point. Like
it hurts when you look and you see they send you the offer and then you're paying the fees plus you see that it's going to sell promoted and you're like, man, like the $1 or $2 more. I want that $1 or $2 more.
So, do you ever get the person that you could tell they're mad at the way the negotiation went? They end up just taking the offer and then they never pay. I'm dealing with that right now, man.
Yeah.
This person, they were like, they wanted a price, and I was like, and they took the offer, and I already can tell they're just not going to pay. They just like almost like, well, I'll just tie up your item for 4 days then.
Or how about this? This is a good one that I haven't done it, not that I remember. If you get an offer and it's an extremely low ball offer, and you find out, you click on them and you find out that they're a seller, and then you go and throw some low ball offers back their way. I'm just saying.
Joe always looks up to see
like, I got all kinds of offers out there. Joe's probably like 35 offers out there right now like that. There's so many people waiting for Joe to pay that he's never going to pay.
No, I'm more interested when people,
I'll throw it in. I'll find their most expensive item, and then throw like a $2 offer on it.
Do you really?
No.
Yeah,
I might have did it once or twice.
You do.
Once or twice, I might have did it after.
You know what I did one time? Someone threatened to leave me negative feedback over some. We were like, it was an ugly customer, and they were a seller, and you better believe I bought something from their store. I
I
bought
like
something
it.
from their store and they canceled it right away, but I can still.
Leave negative feedback, right?
I mean, they were being nasty, so I did it. Sonia, she agreed with me doing on that. She's like, "Yeah, you should do that because they're being nasty." And like, that was quite a while ago. It was over a bunch of stickers, and they sold stickers, and the stickers I sold them were fine, and they wanted a partial discount because our negotiation didn't go their way. They ended up paying.
Oh, and they
So
thought they would get it. They would
they
get it
like
on this.
refused to return them. They just wanted a partial refund. It was that whole deal because they were
Yeah.
trying to get the price that they wanted. And so finally, I went on. They had stickers for sale for like $3, so I went on there and I bought a sticker from them. And they saw that and they were like, "Why are you buying a sticker from me?" And I was like, "Hey, I just got to protect myself at this point. Like you're being unreasonable. You're making up stories and you want your money back, but you don't want to return the stickers and this and that." And I'm like, "You're threatening with feedback, and so I'm going to protect myself a little bit. If nothing else, I'll get some revenge. I guess it sounds awful, but sometimes you got to do it. You better believe when I check to see if they're a seller, if someone's giving me a hard time on there.
I don't check.
Yeah.
I always check when someone's giving me a hard time, or even when they're negotiating before I accept offers. I always go check to see what kind of feedback they've left.
Yeah, that's a good
for
idea.
people. I love doing that. That's one of my favorite things to see how they are. Because if they're just kind of being, I'm like, oh man, they're just gonna be a nightmare. And I go look and they're giving out negatives like nothing. I just block them. I'm done messing with
Man,
them.
I feedback just drives me crazy. Like I almost feel like it just shouldn't exist. I feel like eBay should find a way where they can handle feedback behind the scenes to where it's not public information. I know it will always exist, but I just feel like there's something that could be done to where it's not like they can handle to make sure you're not doing anything wrong behind the scenes where it doesn't have to be someone able to leave a rant about you for the whole world to see. And that's
Fun.
Now, how much weight do you put into feedback if you're buying something on eBay? Do you look at it?
On
From the
eBay,
bot-
I don't look. On eBay, I don't take a lot of weight into it unless it's a really low score, and then I'll. And honestly, you know what I take the most weight in is how they respond to bad feedback if they have it. Like
Yeah.
if they're like, you can tell they're just kind of like, I don't want to like the best. You can tell they're a stubborn seller, and you can usually tell that by how they respond to the feedback they've gotten. That I take more, and even then, I still, if they have a lot of positives, then that's usually all I care about.
Yeah. I did I look a little bit, but I don't really.
Yeah.
I just want the item. I'll make sure if it's not that it's kind of I just see that it's if they've had one or two that have been bad, and then I'm fine with that. If everything else looks good, as long as they have good pictures too. I hate just seeing no pictures. So then I want to buy. If I want to buy something, I like to see everything because a lot of times I buy something and when I finally get it, it's not anything what I thought I was getting, and so I stopped doing that a while ago.
Pictures are Dan, you got really good pictures, by the way. Pictures are so important, like to clearly see the item. Like so many people concentrate on their backdrop and stuff. Well, Dan's picture, I haven't looked at your store enough, Joe, to know, but like Dan's pictures, like you can see the item clearly. And that's the most important part is like to actually be able to see the item you're buying, like very clearly.
I try to make sure because I don't have a good setup either especially for my
out there, man. That's
for my
important.
For my clothing, my clothes, I use I got two backdrops. I'm looking over. I have a shelf that I put like my shoes and stuff on. That's easy when I do anything that's not clothing. But the clothing, I throw a backdrop across my bed, and I take pictures that way.
And the way you fold them up to where you can, it's good.
I try my best. I try to so people can see everything.
So important if you're especially newer sellers. Like so many people concentrate on the backdrop and stuff, and that's important. But the most important thing is that you take a clear picture of the item that is for sale. Make sure, no matter what you do, the item is the clearest part of the picture. Like it's not blurry, it's well taken, and you can see the details of the item in the picture. That's so important.
Do you ever put your feet in the pictures?
I do all my pictures actually, and I don't trim my toenails. So I get a lot of positive feedback though. It's weird.
I used to sell a lot more board games and stuff. And I always think about this guy who he was selling a board game and he had it all like in his lap. And it's just like him in his lap. And it might have been like some secret kind of code to buy this and you get something else. I don't know, but that was.
You better hope he doesn't start using like wrong angles and stuff. You might get a little.
How about? I'm sure you guys seen it on those Facebook things or whatever. The girl that has like a bikini top on and she's selling like a like a Nintendo game or something. She's holding it right in front of her, her chest.
You must be shopping somewhere else, Joe.
Yeah, where are you buying these games at?
Look it up. I know we talked about this before.
What kind of game? Leisure Suit Larry?
Dr. Wario. Huh?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna mention the to show how big something is. You remember that person?
Oh, he used the banana.
Yeah, he used the banana. Mike found this. Our friend Mike the January house. This person used
there we go.
When you put like a quarter or something in to show how big something is, this person was using a banana to show how big something is.
I know. I think I even checked their store and it's a random banana. It's not the same banana.
Yeah,
it's the same banana every time.
It's random bananas that are all different
brown all the time.
Like some bananas are big and some are small too. You can't even. That's not even good.
Genetics, all right. It's genetics.
That's what she said.
Joe, you can't use that joke.
My favorite ones are when they're trying to take a picture of a mirror. Have you ever seen those? There's like a whole. They're trying to take a picture of a mirror and they're like either hiding
just the arm out.
Oh, that's hard. That's tough though.
Yeah, so that's
how do you take a picture of that?
Yeah, exactly. Some people they don't realize it's turned out bad, and they're like wearing they're almost like either wearing not enough clothing or they're wearing awful clothes.
That could be part of their sales tactic too.
Yeah.
Could be one of Joe's people's.
Yep, that's funny.
I'm gonna find that store.
See banana for size
reference.
comparison.
Scale. See banana for scale.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. I use a quarter, and then I always include quarters not included.
Oh yeah,
that's important.
I learned that from Joe because Joe, when I use shoe tree, I don't use shoe trees very often for my shoes, but I always put in there shoe trees not included.
That was a negative that I ended up having to take off. I had someone left me a negative
from the quarter.
Crazy. No, from a shoe tree.
The shoe trees.
Oh, those shoe they wanted the shoe tree.
They wanted to because it was in the picture, and I didn't put in there that it wasn't. Luckily, eBay. I think I ended up getting it taken off because they put in there about the I don't know. They wanted a partial refund because the shoe trees weren't included, or they were going to leave me negative feedback. Like they wrote that to me, and they left me negative feedback, and I was able to get it taken off because of that. They wrote it
crazy
that way. But yeah, so now anything extra that I use, I don't really use the shoe trees anymore, but I usually put that in there, like whatever quarters not included, shoe trees not included.
Oh, I use the doll stands that Monster High dolls.
Oh yeah.
They have the little stands that they come with, but I only have like 3 of them, and I keep them for pictures. And I learned the hard way on that because I didn't get a negative, but they said, "Where's the stand that was in the picture?" And I ended up shipping it to them, and that's how I learned that I need to put in their stand not included. And that's even more. That one I almost understood them. Like, yeah, you could think that stand came with the doll. Yeah. So from that point on, all my Monster High doll listings say doll stand not included. Yeah. I know. So I've been there. I've not, but the shoe tree, like, why would you think?
Because they're crazy.
Crazy.
I mean, what else would it be?
Yeah, you're right. Maybe they didn't want the shoe and they just wanted the shoe tree. Maybe they thought the listing was for a shoe tree.
I just think it was
that, Joe. What if they didn't want the shoes? They just wanted the tree. They thought the shoe was the accessory in the picture. The extra.
Where's the box? Did you ship them the box? You have the box? I'm like, do you see any box anywhere?
Oh,
Where would I have a box at?
That's a lot of questions. That's a lot of questions with shoes. Selling shoes, is the box included? Is the box? It's nowhere in the picture.
And that's actually but that's another good tip to new sellers. If you buy something that's in a box and the box is huge and it's not it's not a collectible or it's not necessary, take it out of the box for the pictures and then put in your listing, box not included, and then put it in a smaller box.
Yeah,
I do that all the time.
I do that sometimes too. I'll keep the shoe box if I do buy shoes that have a shoe box and they're used shoes.
Yep.
I'll end up just storing them in here, but it's because it's less money to ship it. Just putting them in there.
But that's what Dan's right. Make sure you put in there box not included. Yeah. But then he said there's not even a box in the picture and they're still asking for it. So they're crazy. Is what you're saying. They're crazy.
Yep. They're nuts. People are nuts. They are.
That is true.
Can we talk about something that's not reselling really quick?
Sure.
Because we had something crazy happen at our house.
Uh-oh.
Sonia and I were down here packing our eBay orders on Instagram, and we were down here downstairs for probably an hour, right? And I went upstairs to use the restroom, and I have 2 dogs. I have a pug, and then we have our puppy Frenchie, who's a year old, just over a year old now, like a couple days over a year old. And I went upstairs, and the pug's just on the chair. He's old. He's like 6, and he's just sleeping, and he's out cold. And I'm like, "Where's your brother? Where's the Bean? Bean is where's Bean?" I call for him, no answer. I searched the whole house. He's nowhere. And my son, who was at home, was now gone. He had left. And so I said to Sonia, I said, did our son did he take Bean with him? And she's like, no. And I was like, well, the dog's gone. He's not here. He's nowhere in the house. And so like she called him up, did you take the dog? And he's like, no. And he's like, where did you go out? And she's like, I went out the front door, and that dog will jet out the front door. So like now he's just gone. And I'm like, he got out the front door. He had to have gotten out the front door when Logan left. So I'll try to tell us as quick as possible. Sonia and I are run out the front door, and we're yelling his name, like, because we checked the whole house. He's not in the house. And we're down the street. We're in people's yards. It's wet. The ground is wet. Our feet are all soaked. We're wearing socks because we were just in the house. And we hear dogs barking down the street like they're fighting and stuff. We're like, oh my gosh, he's fighting with neighbor dogs. And like, Sonia's in other people's yards yelling his name and stuff. And like, we're down the street around the corner and stuff. And Sonia's fighting, like, my feet are frozen. I have to go back home. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go this way and I'm going to go look for him. So Sonia goes back home, and I hear, Jimmy! I hear her yelling for me. And I'm like, oh, great, she found him. So I attempted to run back. There's not much. She said, I found him. I was like, oh, whew. And I was like, so where was he? Was he the other way? She's like, no. And I was like, well, where was he? He was in the house. And I was like, no, I searched the whole house up and down. He was not in the house. He's like, well, you remember how when we were in the basement and I was wearing my jacket? And I was like, yeah. She's like, well, you know how we never use our coat closet? And I was like, yeah. She's like, well, my jacket was in the coat closet. I was like, okay. She's like, well, when I opened the door to get my jacket out, he ran in.
Oh man. And
she didn't know. And then she closed the door behind him and locked him in the dang coat closet. And so we spent a good 3 minutes in the house looking for him, yelling his name in the house. And she said, I opened up that door and he was just sitting there like just big-eyed and he kind of cowered out, like, okay, I was in the closet for an hour. I'm in trouble. So, like, we were literally like heart, that feeling, like, yeah. Just like heart racing, like our dog's gone, like he's gone. We're never gonna see him again.
Dodger escaped the first day I had him.
He escaped the first day you.
I took him. I went and got him from the shelter, and I brought him home. At the shelter, they told me to leave him on his leash, and they wouldn't even let me take him outside to the car. They carried him to my car and put him in the car for me.
How old was he?
He was 2.
Was he a puppy or was he?
No. I got him he was a rescue dog.
Okay.
And they told me to like keep him on his leash when you take him outside until he gets like acclimated to you, that he knows that he's home. I'm like, all right. So I kept him on his leash, and I'm like, oh, he's fine. So I took him off his leash. I have a fenced in yard, but he had been running the streets of Texas for I don't know how long, and he lost a lot of weight. Like he lost so much weight. He was skin and bones. And
that's not good though.
I took him out. He went to the restroom outside, and I thought he doesn't play. And he was kind of running around the backyard. Like you always see those dogs on TV or on TikToks, and they're like, oh, they've been in the shelter. Now this is their home. I was going to film one of those videos because he looked so happy. And he's ran around the yard. And he ran up the porch, and then he ran down the other side of the porch, and then squeezed right between the fence gate and just took off. And so, like, I had him less than 24 hours. I hadn't even named him. He didn't even have a name. So I'm chasing him,
right?
I'm chasing him down the street, yelling, "Dog! Like dog! Dog! Come back, dog!" He doesn't know name.
Now that's a TikTok moment for somebody else in your neighborhood.
So my brother's girlfriend was coming over, and she happened to be outside pulling in right when I was pulling out. And I go, "Hey, go get Dave. Go get my brother. Tell him the dog got loose. I need help." I'm chasing him down the street, like chasing him.
Oh my god!
And so my brother, she comes. My brother jumps in the car. They drive down the street, and Dodger like ran right up to the car. They opened up the car door. He jumped right in their car. Like, he doesn't care.
He doesn't even care who you are. Yeah, he was like, "I'll go for a ride."
Like he doesn't care who it is. He just always has to be. So now, he's never been off his leash outside for me since then. For the last 3 years, it doesn't matter what time I walk him around my fenced-in yard because I don't trust him because he's gonna take off because he doesn't listen.
Yeah. Because like you've been trained, not the dog's been trained. You've been trained.
There's a business behind my house, and my neighbors, I know they're like, this guy is crazy. He walks his dog around the backyard all day on a leash. It's so embarrassing, but that's what we got to do around here.
No,
I was out there today. It's 20 degrees here. I'm wearing shorts.
Can he still escape? Is that why he can still escape?
In my head, he can. I don't think he can.
That's all that matters.
I think he can. Well, we put PVC pipes up by the gate, so he can't squeeze through there. Plus, I feed him whatever he wants. Like he lives a good life. So he's put on some. They always yelling at me at the vet that he needs to lose some weight. So I don't think he will, but I don't know. I don't trust him. He's chipped now too. He wasn't even chipped or anything. Well, he was chipped. I guess he would have got loose. He would have found him.
Dog.
But he didn't have a name.
No, the name they gave me at the I was gonna say the thrift store. And it's kind of like a thrift store. It was a humane society. Gently pre-owned dogs.
What was it? What was his original name?
Oh wait, that makes it worse. His original name that they gave him was Chase. And I'm Chase. I don't know how he came. I don't know how he was free, but he was running around Texas forever. And then they shipped him up here.
I would have loved to have been there for that moment, Dan. I would have loved to. I would have definitely. After I laughed, I would have helped, but I would have laughed.
I was.
I'm glad you were able to find him. That's why it's funny because you found him.
Yeah.
But man,
that's him out of my sight since.
Oh my gosh, that's.
I don't know where he's at right now though.
Freaking. Yeah. So we call, and it was Bean's birthday. It was his 1 year birthday that he got out, or he escaped. We call it the Great Escape, even though he didn't get out of the house. We're calling it that he escaped that day. In our minds, he was running the neighborhood for an hour while we were down here working. Yeah, that was pretty.
Yeah, that doesn't
wild. Like pretty crazy time. Again, just out of nowhere, we were just working and talking on Instagram. Next thing you know, we're chasing a dog that didn't even escape. So yeah,
that wasn't even out.
Wasn't even out. But in our minds, poor dog. And like he was. Our pug was like he's in our pug. They don't get along that well. Our pug doesn't really like how young and active he is. So the pug was just like, "Oh, he's gone. That's terrible."
But he's like, "I opened up the door."
He's like, "I helped him out."
Yeah, I'm the one that opened the door and let that sucker out. Oh shoot, that's too. Yeah. So
if my dogs get out, they go directly across the street. There's a female dog over there. I have Phoenix and Vader. They're two males. There's a female dog across the street. They go right to the backyard and they sit back there until she comes out and plays. And that's it. I know if they get out, that's where he's going. So
yeah.
I got lucky that way.
We were super worried because our down the road, probably 6 houses down the road on the opposite side, they have like 2 big mastiffs. Ooh. And they play with them in the front yard. Because there's no gate, there's no fenced in. So they are always out in their front yard playing. So that's right where we were like, that's where he's at. And he's dead in the yard. You know, they thought they were playing with him, but yeah, because he's just a little Frenchie. He's just a little French.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and that's the yard we were looking around when we were trying to find him because we heard barking over there. Yeah,
it's scary though. It's scary, especially Dan, the dog doesn't even have a name.
Dan's story. Have you guys seen the movie Funny Farm? Have you ever seen that Chevy Chase movie?
Chevy Chase. I have. It's been a long time.
Yeah. So that story reminded me because in that movie, you remember he gets a dog?
Does he? I don't remember that.
He gets a dog and he gets home and he opens the car door and the dog takes off. And you don't see the throughout the movie, there's scenes where like you see the dog just run across the yard. He's all, "Hey dog, hey dog," and the dog just runs by and keeps going.
I was coming up with
two times in the movie where that happens. Where like he never gets the dog back though, but like it just runs through the yard. And he's like, "There he is! Hey, come here, boy, come here!" And the dog just runs by and keeps.
Oh, it's on Max. I might watch it. It's on.
Yeah, that's a great. That's not a great, but that reminded me of that so much. Where Dan just talked.
I was making a list of names I wanted to name them because I knew I didn't want to keep Chase.
You didn't want Chase?
Nah, I just didn't. I didn't.
Chase was a big thing, like when in like 08 when the Phillies were in the World Series with Chase Utley.
Oh yeah, I guess
kids were being named Chase, dogs were being named Chase.
Every kid in Philadelphia's name is Chase right now. So what were some of the possible names and why Dodger?
I had Oliver down, but Oliver was my friend. My friends had a dog that passed away this year. But so this is before. I always liked that name, so I thought about that. One that I felt like I was too old, but if I was younger, I would have named him Nacho. And doesn't Nacho sound like? And then you have to. It's very hard. When I had my old dog, Oscar, I took me different names too. You have to kind of feel out. It was the first animals you ever named. You kind of feel them out. And I had Dodger on the list because he looks like Dodger from Oliver and Company.
Okay.
There's a dog on there
I like Dodger.
Dodger. So and then I thought it was funny because I live in Northwest Indiana where everyone here is Cubs or White Sox fans, and so there's a lot of people have Addison's their dog's name, like Addison and Clark, because that's where the Wrigley Field's at and stuff like that. And they always everyone thinks it's like Dodger for the Dodgers, for LA Dodgers.
Yeah, that's what I thought instantly.
Yeah. So and it's just
like it didn't make sense that you live in Indiana.
Yeah. So I thought that part of it was funny. And then it was just other like human names, like a Kevin or something like that would have been kind of funny. But after that, I was like, well, I have to stick with Dodger. I have to name him in case he gets out. I have to be able to call him. It took forever for him to understand his name too.
Do you ever do this? Like my dogs, we gave them names, and then me, and it's only me. I give them like I don't even ever call them by their names out. So like our pug's name is Poe, and I call him Bubba, and that's all I call him is Bubba. I don't even call him Poe anymore, like ever. And then Bean, I call him Bernard. And Bean just kind of progressed into Bernard, and I don't call him Bean ever. I call him Bernard. It's almost like his name is Bernard now. The whole house calls him Bernard.
Yeah, I call Dodger Bubba, and I called Oscar. That's my old dog. I called him Sir. And he was a miniature schnauzer, and he always looked proper. And Dodger always looks like a mess. He's kind of a he looks like he's some kind of terrier mix, and it's like a he's part wired hair Jack Russell, but his hair is just crazy, and he's got like stiff legs, and when he walks, he kind of like has like we're perfect. We both are waddling down, walking around, and he's like, but my old dog Oscar was just like so proper that I called him Sir, and then like the dog before that I used to call him Friend. I would just call him Friend, like come on Friend, because it was my dog is growing up, so I had to call. He was my friend, so I just called him Friend all the time. I would call him Friend, and then I had like an attachment to that. So when I got Oscar, I had to call him something else. So I came up with Sir, and then now it's just so weird. I couldn't imagine calling Dodger is a nutcase. But he's crazy. He's crazy.
I gotta meet Dodger. Joe, do your dogs have any? You give them crazy names, or do you just kind of call them like what did you say? Phoenix, and what was the other dog's name?
Vader, like Darth Vader.
Oh, yeah, Darth Vader.
What's Vader's nickname? I know what it used to be, at least.
Who, Vader?
Yeah.
Can you say it on the podcast?
Yeah, you can say it on the podcast. What did Riley your daughter call him?
Bargar.
No, it was Booger.
Booger. Yeah.
Booger. Like from Revenge of the Nerds.
It went from Bargar when she was really young to Booger. Yeah. She still calls him that sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, she still. But Phoenix was a dog that we got already named. It was a friend of mine's dog, and we got him. So I call him Phoenix. I call him Vader. You know, I don't
call him Vader.
I'm a weirdo.
I mess their names up all the time.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mess the kids' names up all the time too. You know, so
we our first pug that we ever, because this is our second pug. Our first pug, our oldest son was like literally like 2 years old when we got him, or something like that. Or like no, he was a baby. Like he was so when he started to talk, he thought it was a cat because pugs have the the flat face and the short, and so he called him Kitty forever. Like he's a dog, son. He's all Kitty.
I used to have I had a stray cat that I had for years that I called him, his nickname was Baby Girl for a while because
it was a him.
Yeah, well, so originally his name was Elaine. I named him Elaine from Seinfeld. Yeah, this cat showed up at my house, and my brother's girlfriend, she's like, "Oh, it was this big cat, like small head, huge body." My brother's girlfriend's like, "That's
me.
That's a pregnant cat. You're gonna have kittens." I'm getting ready to have kittens. I thought we were having kittens, and I'm like, "Oh, I named this cat." I've never had a girl. I've never had any kind of girl animal. I tried finding this cat a house. This is like Facebook had just started for like normal, like around. So you didn't really. We called vets, like trying to find this cat a house, like its home, because it seemed friendly, and it was short haired, and this is so embarrassing. Anyway, it goes to where it gets sick. I have to take it to the vet. It's been a couple months that I've had it. I didn't get it like checked up or anything, but it started having some kind of eye infection or something. Take it to the vet, and I'm in my early 20s. I don't really have much money for anything, and I'm like, oh my god, I gotta take care of this cat now. Gotta pay for it. Take it there, and they're like, what's its name? I'm like, well, her name's Elaine, and they looking at the cat, and I got my brothers there with me, and I'm like, they're like, this is a male neutered cat. They're like, why do you think it's a girl? And I go, because it has nipples. It had nipples. All the cats I've ever had were old long-haired cats, so I didn't know they were like. I didn't know a short hair. I didn't know cats had like 7 nipples on them. So it was like, don't laugh. This is serious. I'm being serious. So I had to change his name, and then I was nervous. I didn't have a name to change it to, so I ended up calling it Buddy. But I used to call it Baby Girl for months. Just call it, hey Baby Girl, and it would meow, and I'm like, Baby Girl meowing. And that was it. It was the worst.
And so no kittens then. No
kittens came. It was just a
Were you heartbroken that you lost your kitten? Like,
I didn't know how to
take care. You lost all your kittens.
I didn't know how to take care of kittens, because after a while I was like, man, this cat's not having babies. What's it supposed to have?
This cat's been pregnant for 3 years.
I have no idea. I don't even know if I had internet at the time. I did, but I don't know how long. How long's a cat pregnant for? Not 9 months.
I don't know. That's terrible.
Apparently 3 years.
So that sucks.
This is just so you know. I mean, the name is nice, but just so you know, this is a male cat.
Man, they oh god, I never went back to that vet. I went to a different vet after that.
Yeah, I don't think I would have went back either.
That was embarrassing. God. They're like boys have nipples too. It was like from Meet the Parent. You know, the Meet the Parents when he's like, "Oh, I have nipples too." Yeah, I just didn't know they had that many.
Oh, that's too dang fun. Sorry, Dan. I'm laughing with you.
That was embarrassing. That was more embarrassing than I told you. Well, we're like an hour and 20 minutes in. No one's listening.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
that was a good one, Dan. That one
Yeah.
hit the spot. That was a good one.
Man.
What did you call it again? Baby girl?
Baby girl. I don't know.
Baby
I don't know why either. I mean, oh my gosh, it's
Elaine, the baby girl cat that was a boy.
and then I ended up just naming it Buddy because I was so Buddy.
Buddy.
I didn't know. I wanted to name it because Panza.
That poor cat had no idea at that point if it was baby girl or Elaine. Or
Oh my lord.
So that was that.
Man. All right, folks. Well, I think we're gonna say thank you so much for watching the podcast, and we will see you guys next time. Is that what we're doing right now?
Oh yeah.
That's it.